We're going to get into the program. We've got 10 bugs that you absolutely, definitely want to have in your garden. We're going to talk about what they are, the benefits of what some of them do, and how we can attract them to our garden. What people don't realize that may be novice or new to gardening is that you need bugs in your garden.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You want those bugs. There's a lot of beneficial bugs, and there is also not so good bugs as well. One thing I want to note here is that the good bugs, the insect allies, they hate dust. So it's good to keep the soil covered.
Now, allies,
those are the good bugs.
That's the good bugs. Okay, so I just wanted to be clear that we are all understanding.
So there are allies in the garden. So you want to keep your soil covered, use mulch. Mulch is awesome for many reasons. It retains moisture.
We talk about it every week.
Right,
mulch your soil.
It helps eliminate weeds, and it attracts worms to your garden and also good microorganisms that are going to break that down. So that's one thing. Also, using chemical pesticides is not good for the good bugs, especially like bees, because a lot of those chemical pesticides contain what's called neonicotinoids, and those are very harmful to our pollinator friends.
Well, the thing that people need to be aware of, that if you have some bad bugs in your garden, and you have good bugs in your garden, that's a balanced ecosystem. If you have one eats the other. What's bad is when gardeners go to the garden center and find a chemical that has the picture of that bad bug on it to use to kill it. That chemical kills all the bugs. It doesn't just focus on that one individual species. It wipes out everything, good and bad. Mm-hmm. And people need to be aware of that you are doing harm. There are some times when it needs to be used to kill the bugs, the bad bugs. But if you have an balanced ecosystem, that certainly does make a difference. So let's talk about some of these good bugs that you want in your garden.
Right, so bees, that's the one that does a lot of the pollinating. So what you can do to attract them is plant perennials, colorful annuals, and lots of fruits and veggies. Bees will come if you invite them. So the flowering plants are what is ideal.
Secondly is ladybugs. Ladybugs are a great pest deterrent. Their prey is aphids, whiteflies, mites, fleas, Colorado potato beetles. And the neat thing about the ladybug is a ladybug can consume around 5,000 aphids during their lifetime.
Fun fact.
Aphids are the tick of the plant world. They will suck the juices out of your plant and weaken the immune system of your plant. That's why we want to keep them away. Also, it's okay if you don't weed all the weeds out of your garden. Some of these bad bugs find weeds and use them as a host plant. And if you was to remove all of those weeds, those bugs would find the vegetation in which you're growing to be and use as a host plant. So another one is praying mantises. Now that is not something very familiar in the upper Midwest portions of the United States. It is it's more of the central to southern United States,
yeah,
East
I've
Coast.
never seen a praying mantis.
I'm from southern Illinois, and that was a very big insect to have in the garden, very beneficial. What is some of the things that they eat for those who are in areas?
Things like the bad caterpillars, moths, the bad beetles, and crickets. And they're attracted by tall grasses and shrubs, tall flowers like cosmos, zinnias, marigolds, and dill. Mantis can turn their heads 180 degrees. So
they can look forward, and then they can turn around and look directly behind them.
That's crazy. I mean, not crazy, but it's crazy.
Unique aspect of nature. Spiders are another thing that many people hate. I don't want spiders. I hate spiders. Spiders are very beneficial in the garden. They prey on a wide variety of bad bugs, aphids, roaches, grasshoppers, mosquitoes, fruit flies. So that's very beneficial.
And in your home, they also eat a lot of bad bugs, too.
Yeah, so it's okay to have spiders in your house.
Spiders are our friends.
Yeah, even if people don't like them. That's our little thing there. Yeah. Ground beetles. Ground beetles, they'll eat slugs, caterpillars, two big problems that people face in their garden, as well as ants. So that's a good thing. Colorado beetles, cutworms. How do we attract ground beetles? Since it will eat the slugs and the caterpillars, what do we do to attract them?
So you can plant evening primrose, amaranthus, and clover. So a lot of people have clover in their garden, in their soil.
Or in their yard. And they try to get rid of it.
And they try to get rid of it. If you leave that clover, you'll have the ground beetles. Ground beetles are typically active only at night. Excuse me.
At night, and then they will kind of go into they'll sleep during the day.
Yeah. So let's talk about the bracket and wasp.
Okay.
Because that is something that we'll use the tomato or tobacco hornworm, or also sometimes the looper. If you have a cabbage looper, we don't get those here, but I think in the south they do. They'll attract those, and they'll make them their hosts, and then they'll make their cocoons on those hornworms and those loopers, and then those bugs are no good. So that's one thing. And they also prey on aphids. So they're attracted by like yarrow, and I just learned about yarrow. Yarrow is a very beneficial herb for your blood and your circulatory system.
Is that something that can be easily grown?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then dill, if you grow dill, you want to be careful for growing dill. We've talked about that. Lemon balm and parsley. So it seems like a lot of herbs and like taller flowering plants attract a lot of
bright
these.
colors as well.
Yeah.
Let's look at another
There's
one here.
aphid midges. So I guess these are...
they focus on the eating the aphids.
They eat the aphids.
Poor aphids. Now, if you're a friend of the aphids, every single one of these insects is going to eat the aphids.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So again, dill, plants with pollen and nectar. That's the thing is, like, if you have plants that are attracting the pollinators, like the bees and the monarchs, they're going to also typically attract a lot of these good bugs. So that's good.
Right. Another one is the green lacewing.
Yeah, so these are cool looking. If you ever see one, I would say you should definitely look those up because they have these really pretty wings. But they eat the aphids, white flies, mealybugs, caterpillars, and then pest moths.
And again, these are all bugs that you want in your garden that you can attract to your garden very easily. You don't have to have any major reconstruction of your landscape in order to get them in. You may already also have these in your garden and you just don't know it. A lot of times these insects don't make their presence known. They just help balance the ecosystem.
Right. So then the neat thing about lacewings is that they're attracted by dandelion and also coriander and dill and a variety of flowers. But people don't realize how beneficial dandelions are to your yard. Now, they're not beneficial to your grass necessarily, but they're beneficial because they attract these good bugs. They attract pollinators. They're the first food for bees in the spring. And then if you don't like them, you can dig them up and you can use the dandelion roots for all sorts of things and the greens. So definitely consider what you're doing to the dandelions when you're harming the rest of the ecosystem.
And another thing, for those of you who hate to have dandelions in your yard, I understand that. You want to have a pleasing yard. Dandelion seeds can travel up to 5 miles. So just because you've cleaned your little yard out doesn't mean, and everybody on your block has, 5 miles away, those seeds can come over and introduce themselves on your property.
Yeah, see, so you're not really doing much anyway. Okay, so soldier beetles, these are cool looking.
Aphids, of course, they eat the aphids.
Yeah, they eat grasshoppers. I don't know if grasshoppers are necessarily, or grasshopper eggs.
Yeah.
And then soft body insects.
Which is important.
Right.
A lot of these soft body insects can do detrimental damage to your vegetation in which you're trying to grow.
So they're attracted by zinnia, marigolds.
Which is some pretty flowers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely like if you're only going to grow like a few flowers, you want to grow something like zinnias, marigolds, cosmos. Those are the flowers that grow taller, and those seem to attract these
very vibrant colors.
Very vibrant colors, and they seem to attract these good bugs.
What's some other ones here?
So there are the mealybug destroyer. What do you think that eats?
Mealybug destroyer. That the roly-polies.
Yeah, the roly-polies.
That this bug destroys the roly-polies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or here we call them potato bugs.
Potato bugs. All right.
That's another regional thing, what they call them. But those are attracted by sunflowers, dill, fennel, goldenrod. So it seems to be a trend, as you can see. Predatory mites. So there's different good and bad mites. Predatory mites eat the spider mites. Spider mites feed on your tomatoes. So that's something to keep in mind, is that it might look like one thing, but it might be beneficial versus another thing that it doesn't look like.
Yeah, having a balanced ecosystem in your garden is key.
For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.